LDBC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, folks, let me tell you do something. Let me tell you do something right now. You know, I was looking at this article with a heavyweight woman, and y'all gotta forgive me because I just got done with my last session, and I'm kind of thinking about it. Normally, man, when I read it and then I look at it for a split second, I get the gist of the article, but I can't go back and forth through it because I'm already making a video now. But it was a heavyweight. She was saying that how she was frustrated because she'll never realize her dream of being in the UFC because they're never going to make a heavyweight division for the women. And I concur. There's going to have to be a huge financial, like a huge need to see heavyweight women in the octagon. The average person really don't want to see the heavyweights. I actually would want to because you got a lot of women that's sitting around in gyms. I'm talking about that's more than featherweights. Like they're heavier than featherweights. They sitting in gyms, and they're some of the best martial artists in the world. But the problem is they're not gonna get an opportunity to showcase their skills. I mean, again, they can go to Rising if Rising will hire them, But they'll be fighting under some crazy rules, man. That I just can't get down with, man. And Rising as a whole, I don't know, man. It's the organization itself, man. It's crazy. It's almost like a sideshow, like a circus freak show, man. And it's like you can come in there and be whatever you want to be at Rising, and dang it, they'll let you do it. You can get away with everything. I mean, you can soccer ball kick people. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if somebody could bring in lace their gloves with brass knuckles under them, and that might be okay with Rising. It just might be. Well, hell, let's just take it to another step. Maybe Rising might let you come in there with a damn baseball bat. I mean, who knows? But these women, if you're not a featherweight, basically, you ain't getting in the UFC. Now, we can understand why maybe, okay? Because the UFC, they're in the business of making money. And unfortunately, they got this thing, man. Sex sells. Because people always ask me, Coach, why? Coach, why do, women's MMA get more than women's boxing? Because women's MMA, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it's still in its infancy. It really is. It's still infant right now. It's not even hit its maximum yet. But when they do promote the women, when they choose to, and that's a subject for another video, they promote sex. It's a sex-driven agenda when it comes to the women. So naturally, the natural casual, they're gonna look at them and be like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she nice looking, she attractive. Yeah, that's cool. That's the average casual. They're gonna look at it. So it's sex driven. And if that's the UFC hustle, that's their hustle. That's what they do. But boxing, they not, the closest thing you get to that is if you look at the weigh-in, you can, oh, okay, yeah, they cut, they athletic, they got athletic physique. You can see all of that. But, in a boxing match, yeah, they going in there. And you got to be a fan of pugilism. You got to be a straight fan of pugilism. And I like boxing, period. I like boxing. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of the science. And I like it when people bring the science over to MMA. But see, you got some of these skilled women, very, very skilled women. And I think I'm going to go and create a video about, the women who they're great, but they can never be, their skills will never be showcased. It's plenty of them. And they sitting in gyms right now, hitting heavy bags and, sparring people. They some of the best people. And a lot of these women, they don't have jobs or they're not a part of an organization. So they also rent themselves out as sparring partners. They do that too. They'll go to gyms and, people might have a need for a heavier person, and to get you somebody with muscle mass, they'll spar some of these bigger people, but they not getting their shine. And I think that's ironic because, for the UFC to make more divisions, there is a cost involved. And the thing about us as casuals, I'm a casual as well. I fought. Yeah, I fought. I boxed. And I did a couple of years of MMA, learned a lot of submissions and, learned how to throw jabs. I've done that. And OG Nakmeezy probably will agree with this one. It's like when you that good and you can't really showcase what you have, you become frustrated. And a lot of these women, they frustrated. Like they know that they can beat people if they could ever do it, but they're not gonna do it, man. It's gonna take the UFC a long time to do that. It's gonna take them a while. If they don't feel like they can make money, they ain't gonna do it. And we just don't know stuff, man. So it could be stuff going on behind the scene, a lot of stuff that we don't know. But it's like they're not creating any additional weight classes. And, they don't even want to fill up the featherweight division, So do you think they really going to, bring in a whole crop of the talent? They ain't going to do that. There's got to be a financial need for it. Not just because, and a lot of these women, some of these women are passing out. I know Paige Van Zant passed out trying to make weight. But that's not the only instance of people passing out. I mean, Cyborg, man, her blood was thick, man. Blood was thick. Like, they couldn't even pull blood out of her veins, man, because she was so dehydrated. I mean, Carolina Kovacevic, man, she be hurting trying to make that weight. Alexa Grasso be hurting trying to make that weight. Like, they be hurting, man, trying to make that weight. And it's no joke, man. If you've ever tried to cut weight, I'm talking about literally cut it in a time frame, it's no joke. And I respect these fighters that can make the weight. Oh, I respect them. And some fighters, they big, man, like Cyborg. She got to cut off like 25, 30 pounds. Yana Kunitskaya, she got to, break down about 20 pounds, man. 20 pounds, that's a lot of weight when you have to do it in, 60-day period sometimes? That's a lot of weight. Okay, that's more weight than your body really able to accommodate. And sometimes you really, safely, you're supposed to only lose about a pound a week. Like, safely, you're supposed to lose a pound a week. Easy. But, some of these people, they losing 2 to 3, 4 pounds a week, man. That's crazy. So your body not meant to take that. So you have people who, they naturally big people. Like Megan Anderson, she naturally a big girl. She probably would want more weight classes. Cyborg probably wouldn't want a heavier weight class, but they just can't afford it, man. Or the UFC can afford it, but they're not going to do it unless there's a demand for, weights, heavier weights. It ain't. And unfortunately, these skillful fighters, what they're going to be doing, they're going to be sitting in gyms, and they'll be sparring partners for a long time. They may go do some BJJ tournaments. Now, when you watch some of these ladies in the BJJ tournaments, and some people, they don't like the gi, man. Sometimes I like the gi. I like when they get in the gi because a lot of times it's harder, man, to do a lot of the stuff in the gi. And if you can do stuff in the gi, good grief, man, you a bad PG-13 channel. But you guys tell me what you think. What weight classes? Okay, this is the question I'm going to ask y'all, okay? And maybe we can just figure out, man, like, we can maybe have like some fantasy weight classes, like what weight classes could we fill with fighters, okay? And not the fighters that they currently have now, like fighters that's sitting in gyms, And I'm gonna make a video about fighters who they're sitting in gyms that could be fighting, I'm gonna do that. But what would be your fantasy like weight classes? Like, would you want to have 155? See, mine will be 155, 170, 185, and anything more than 185 would be heavyweight. How do you think that they need to, if they were to put more weight classes in, how do you think that they would, how do you think they need to market other weight classes outside of featherweight? This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you guys waiting on? Subscribe to the Best Women's MMA platform on YouTube.